One mic.
All I need is one mic.
It's just different.
One mic with Big Mike.
The overall tenor of what he's saying is very stupid.
And they say his style is too urban for the radio.
Maybe it's not racism. Maybe it's placism.
Brother has to know his place, right, Bob?
One mic with Big Mike.
Things aren't always what they seem.
A sports talk show, but no subject matter is off limit.
Don't just tell me that the reason something's being done is because that's the way it's always been done. Because the first thing I'm going to say to you is slavery.
And now, your host.
I got the big homie here who needs no introduction.
Big Mike.
All I need is one mic.
Yes, sir. Back from the weekend. Welcome into the One Mic with Big Mike show. I, of course, am your host, Big Mike. Turn this microphone down just a tad bit. Yeah, man. We here at Spreaker.com, the Spreaker app. Tune in, and, of course, the One Mic with BigMike.com website. Make sure you go check that out, and make sure you tell your friends, man. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. I'm here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday starting at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So yeah, we got a lot of catching up to do. I didn't make an appearance on Friday when I checked out a movie, when I saw Get Out with the Old Lady. Tell you all about that as the show moves on. I went to the Negro movie theater too, on purpose, by the way, on purpose. But I got mixed feelings of whether I should have gone or not have gone to the white side of town and watched the movie there with a bunch of uncomfortable white people. But anyway, as far as today's show goes, no guest tonight, but at the bottom of the hour, I will take you guys back in time. I'll do my daily feature that I call On This Day, where I give you guys some factual tidbits from the world of sports that happened on this particular day in history. The NFL Combine is going down all weekend long, so I was mad, like I was asphyxiated on that. That may not even be the right word. Yeah, I paid a whole lot of attention to the NFL Scouting Combine this weekend. I'll pass on my thoughts here in just a second. I got some stuff about Tim Tebow, who never makes my show, by the way. He never, ever gets talked about on this show. But, today I'll make an exception. Couple of NBA tidbits, some stuff out of the NCAA as far as basketball season starting this month. Yeah, college basketball has the longest preseason of all sports, and the official season starts this month with March Madness. So I got to get caught up. I got to find out what the hell's going on in the world of college basketball outside of North Carolina and Kansas, who apparently thinks it's all right to bang up some broad's car and then suspend the chick too. By the way, suspend the chick from her basketball team, and then just call my man just going to work on her car for $3,000. A distraction. So maybe we'll get into some of that. I got to do something with this daily. I got two dudes that's going to help me produce the show now. My man Reggie, my man Marcus, we got to get them up to speed. Well, I got to get them up to speed, but they're going to be helping me produce the show. And I got to figure out something to do with your man Agent Orange. You know what I mean? Because he, like, there is no, like, you know how people say you got to hit rock bottom first? He knows no depth to how stupid he can be. And at this point, man, like last night, me and my old lady just sitting down watching TV, just laughing like hell, man. Like we watching Def Comedy Jam or something. I mean, it's just ridiculous as hell. So we gotta talk about that idiot too, man. Your president, y'all president. What else do I have here? That's pretty much it. But you know what I want to start off with? Because I didn't get a chance to talk to you guys on Friday. What up, Big L? Big L's in the chat room. I got a chat room set up for you guys if you want to interact with the show, interact with me, interact with anyone else in the chat room. You guys can just, if you're listening to Spreaker, listen to me on Spreaker, or you're on my website, onemicwithbigmike.com. Whether you're listening on demand or live, you can always click that little thought bubble icon, and you can drop me a message after the fact, or you can get in here right now and get in on some of these conversations. You can also leave your comments below the live interactive chat room. You can leave your comments below the live streaming video here on Facebook Live. My Facebook page is One Mic with Big Mike, spelled the numeral 1, MICWITHBIGMIKE. And you can also text the show at 404-902-8104. Yeah, man, we'll get into this. We might get into some of this Kansas situation. Like the whole college sports, big time college sports, it's so dirty and ridiculous. And like just watching the combine this weekend, it just illuminates so much more of it. You know what I mean? But first, let's start with something that I was talking about for a long time, like almost every day or every episode for a while here. My man, Colin Kaepernick, right? And I say my man, I don't really do that. I don't really big up athletes that much. I'm not really into man worship like the way people are with their sports figures and things of that nature. But this guy, I think he deserves a certain level of acclaim. You know what I mean? He didn't do what he did as far as not standing for the national anthem. Wasn't easy. This wasn't calling up your buddies and standing on a stage at an award show saying can't we all just get along? That was the essence of what LeBron and Melo and CP3 and Dwayne Wade did. That's essentially what they did. Please don't kill black people. Can't we all get along? Nah. Colin Kaepernick was like, nah, this country is effed up. You don't give a damn about my black ass. The police can murder me and then go on vacation. Like he laid it out very, very clearly as to what it was. Like he drew the line in the sand and he got on his side and said, everybody that's with me, stand here. He didn't say that literally, of course. I'm paraphrasing. And everyone else, you're on the other side. And we saw what happened. The ridiculous idiots who get too uncomfortable or just don't care about what the real issue was, brought up stuff about flags and patriotism and troops and all this ridiculous stupidness, right? And I remember saying at the time, man, I want this dude to be good at football. I wish he was better at football. You know what I mean? Because it would be too easy to just discard him without giving the actual reason that you're discarding him. You could just say it's because he wasn't good and he wasn't producing. And like we would want to argue that, but the reality is, he's not one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL anymore. I don't think he's worth not having a roster spot. I mean, the man threw 16 touchdowns, 4 interceptions last year. And he had some very, very low lows during the season as well. I'm not talking about the death threats and all that kind of stuff, but just on the field, pertaining to on the field, he had some low lows. I think he had a game where he didn't complete a pass. It was like raining real hard. It was like terrible weather. He didn't complete a pass. He got pulled from the ball game. So, that being said, I still think that the dude is an NFL quarterback. He was coming off injury last year. So anyway, fast forwarding to get to the crux of what I'm intending on discussing is that now he's a free agent. He opted out of his deal. If he hadn't, he could have collected $14.5 million this year from the 49ers. But the thing that a lot of people are missing in this whole thing is that they say, well, he's done. He's an idiot for opting out. No, he's not an idiot. John Lynch, the new GM, said that they were probably going to release him anyway because the club also had an option, which they always do. You know what I mean? With these NFL contracts, there's always an option. You just cut your black ass. You know what I mean? And that was on the table. So Colin Kaepernick, after redoing the deal during the season, came back after the season and said, you know what? And then I feel like he's in an advantageous place. They don't have any quarterbacks. They don't have any quarterbacks on the roster right now. So he can go look around. And even the people with the 49ers said it's not a closed door. You know what I mean? We were going to cut him anyway. So he can go test the market, see what his value is. And if the value here is higher or close and he wants to stay here, we'll explore that option. If not, he can go somewhere else and compete for a starting job in another market. All right. Well, since that happened, the Yahoos came back out the woodworks. I knew he was a damn hypocrite. Yeah, that's what he is. You know what I mean? Because I think in white folks' mind, a lot of white folks' mind, it was all about the kneeling thing. They tricked themselves into thinking it was about a flag or some troops. Like the dude couldn't have articulated it any better in saying, look, man, this is about racial injustice in the United States of America. That's going unchecked. And it needs to go unchecked. And since I'm in this position of visibility, I'm going to do what I think I can do. What I think is the right thing. It's not what you think is the right thing, Chad or Biff. And these white boys who, well, he could have done it a different way. This happened to me on Friday, too, by the way. I got caught up in this. Some dude was trying to request me as a friend on Facebook, right? So before I do that, I try to like look and see like first of all, if it's real or fake. So I scroll and see, what's going on. And I saw my man talking about, Colin Kaepernick was a hypocrite, just like I said. So I was like, all right, let's stop here. I ain't got nothing to do right now. Let's get into this. So I got into it with him, and then some other white boy jumped into it, with that whole, like, and here's the thing that you notice now. There's always like a code for, let me soften this racism by saying, well, I agree with I agree with him having the right to kneel, but I just think he could have done it a better way. Like what? Like what, Chad? What would your better way be if you saw people that look like you getting murdered in the street by people who look like me? Cuz, like, what would your rational way? And by the way, Colin Kaepernick's way was very rational, and it was the most American way. The freedom of expression. But it's so ironic how, like, as a black person, your freedoms get parsed out to you by white folks. You know what I mean? They kind of get just parsed out to you. Well, you can do this, but if you do it the way we're uncomfortable. This is why I said when he went from sitting to kneeling, I said he shouldn't have even done that. Damn stupid people. They don't get to win. But in this case, it has to be what it is. I put it on the poll. Hashtag put it on the poll. My daily poll questions brought to us by sportsnewsandbrews.com. Let me give you what they are real quick. I think I only have 2 of them up today. Go to at one Mike with Big Mike on Twitter to check out the hashtag put it on the poll question. I think you can also go to at sportsnewsbrews as well to check them out. Give me a second here. Are you okay with Colin Kaepernick making the decision to start standing for the national anthem? 100% of the people so far are saying yes. This is from Friday. The poll is closed, but do you take your own snacks or candy to the movies? 86% of the people said yes. 14 said no. Wait, what? Why would you not? These are single people. Like, these are single males that don't take their own snack. Because if you got a woman, and as much as these damn pocketbooks cost, they need to do some damn work. Yeah, they ain't just for show. These big ass Louis bags and all this kind of stuff. Hell no. Put some honey buns in there, man. Anyway, we'll talk about that later when I tell you guys about Get Out. It's the One Mike with Big Mike show. I'm here, Spreaker.com, the Spreaker app, as well as on TuneIn and One Mike with BigMike.com. You can also see me streaming live video on my Facebook page, which is at One Mike with Big Mike. The same handle for my Twitter and my Instagram, so make sure you give me a like and follows and all those good things. Text the show right now at 404-902-8104 or jump inside my live interactive chat room by clicking that little thought bubble icon that you see staring at you on the streaming player. You can get on in here and get into this Colin Kaepernick conversation that I'm having. So yeah, we're having that kind of discussion or whatever. And the other thing that's awesome too, dude. The other thing that's awesome is like when white people say stuff like, "Why does everything have to be about race?" Well, I don't know. Ask your granddad. Ask the dudes who decided it was a good idea to have 2 water fountains. Go ask the dudes who thought it was a good idea to kidnap Africans and bring them halfway across the damn world to do their work for free. Go ask them. I mean, don't ask me. I ain't make up the rules, B. I'm black. Remember, I'm 13%. I don't get a chance to make up no rules. I just got to follow yours. Why does everything have to be about race? As though the Colin Kaepernick thing doesn't have any, like, you see this black dude, big ass afro, saying F your flag and your racist ass song. And that ain't got nothing to do with race at all. Nothing. So yeah, I saw this article today about this, right? And I try to be fair in my reading and in my preparation for the show. Like, I don't just go after things and read things that, that I tend to agree with. I try to look for things that have alternative opinions, even if they're like mad stupid opinions. I go for that. I love people who say there's no such thing as a wrong opinion. Yeah, there are plenty. Yeah, like white people are better than black people just because they're white. That's a terrible opinion. That's a horrible opinion. So there are such things as stupid opinions, and this article illuminates that point. It's called this dude named Steve Siebold. Apparently, he played somewhere professionally, some sport, but he writes the article. Colin Kaepernick conveniently decides to stand for the national anthem as he becomes a free agent. Conveniently. Now, see, immediately the title got my attention. There ain't nothing convenient about it. And it's the point I was making to the white boys on Friday on Facebook. Like, for whatever reason, you know what people have told you about Colin Kaepernick. You think this kneeling thing is all it is. It's a publicity stunt. He gave away a million plus bones. Donated 1 million plus bones to this publicity stunt, as you call it. I told the dude, I said, man, check your resume on things like that. What have you done for the black community, Biff? You know what I mean? And I say 1 million plus. Everybody keeps saying 1 million. No, he pledged 1 million initially. But then when the jersey sales went out the roof, he's like, nah, I'm not keeping none of that money. I'm putting that money in the pot too. Plus all his Jordans. I think my man said it was like 230 something pair, 330 something pair of Jordans. Yeah, that's quite the lick, man. Gave away to the what you call it, the homeless shelter. Oh man, Big L's checking in the chat room. Yeah, that's where we go. Yeah, he says you go to the dollar store before the movie. I go to the Family Dollar. Yeah, get me some Mountain Dew. The Mountain Dew, what is it called? The Blast or whatever it's called. The commercial with the animals dancing. Get me one of those. Some honey buns, some Doritos. You know what I mean? Some Sour Patch Kids. Yeah, man. See, Big L's like me. Big L's a married dude, so he ain't got front for his old lady. He got to run up in the movies and spend $35 on a small popcorn. Y'all single dudes is out there getting ran ragged. Not me and my man. Hell no. We walk up in that joint together too, baby. Get whatever you want. All up in Family Dollar. You ring it up. It's like, it's so much stuff. I swear it to be the truth. It's so much stuff on Friday. She got a big bag too. Big old pocketbook. She couldn't even put all the stuff in there. She had to take stuff out. It was like $9. Anyway, man, I ain't messing with you. Big L also says, yeah, right. The Jews, right. The Jews should forget about what the Nazis did. Of course. Yeah. That's the same mentality. You know what I mean? Like that whole mentality, like you guys just had a black president. What do you mean? Racism has to be over. Of course it does. The same black president that Agent Orange is now trying to put charges on. put felony charges on my guy. Man, yeah, set your dumb ass up, man. And like, here's the thing with, like, when I first heard stuff about Colin Kaepernick, the N-word in me wanted to be like, damn, you know. But then, like, he's a grown man. The same way I'm a grown man. The same way, like, Big L's a grown man. Like people are adults, and a lot of times, in order to maintain employment, you sacrifice certain things. Most people don't get up and wear what the hell they want to work every day. The same thing you would wear on like a Saturday morning. You know what I mean? You get up and put on your work clothes because you got a monkey suit to put on for the boss man. You don't run up in your interview with your basketball shorts on and your wife beater and your Nike slides. No, you put on a suit, even if it ain't a suited job. You walk up in there with a suit on, like that's what you're gonna be kicking it in during the whole job. Everyone does it. So now, when the option to Colin Kaepernick becomes either I stand steadfast on what I believe and continue to do what I'm doing and become unemployable, which would then mute my voice and would also hurt me financially, where I'm not able to give in the way that I have been giving. Or I bite the bullet, tell these white people, you know what, I'll do what you ask me to do, boss. I'll be a good N-word boss. Don't worry about it. Even though supposedly I have this right? Supposedly it's my right. I'll forego my right to protest in a civil manner in order to keep collecting checks from you. So when people want to blame Colin Kaepernick or say that he's a hypocrite or he's a sellout, no, the problem is not with him. It's with the system that he works within, that a lot of us work within. The reason you hear black folks say stuff like, you got to use your white voice. You know, like, dang, man, Shawty got her white voice. We used to call it the WV when we was in college. Me and my man Corey, like, man, dog got that tight WV. You know what I mean? It's the same way that happens, because you have to, as a black person, acquiesce to the people in power who are usually white people. And that's all that's happening with Colin Kaepernick. You know, I find it hard to believe, and he didn't say this, but I find it hard to believe that he just came to an epiphany one day and said, you know what, the job's done. This is after he said, I will not stand again until things begin to change. If you haven't been watching the news, they're getting mad worse for everybody, too. Like, everybody's an N-word in Trump's America. You better understand that right now. So anyway, this article, this guy, Steve Siebold, he says he's gotten, a word that a number of teams have already made it clear that they won't consider signing Kaepernick if he continues to protest. That right there tells you all you need to know, man. This ain't about him giving up. This is about him understanding that he's outmanned and outgunned. He got to come out. It's like the Panthers. You remember that? I don't know if you guys have ever seen that shootout with the Panthers and the police. And then when it was all said and done, enough people was dead, they ain't having no bullets. Everybody just got naked and came out and was like, all right, time to go to jail. You know what I'm saying? That's where Colin Kaepernick is right now. He's walking out the door, ass naked, like, look, I've given all I can. And now the people who've always had the power still have it. You know, I proved my point to the point that I could prove it. And now I gotta fall back. You know what I mean? I gotta be the good N-word and play my part in order to benefit from my athletic talents the way so many other people are doing. That's the shame in all of it. It's not in him. You know what I mean? There's no shame in him. So this dude lays out like a 7-point, I guess 7 points that he feels like Colin Kaepernick did. First of all, he said he conveyed the message that all African Americans are being lumped together and treated as common criminals regardless of who they are. Yeah, kind of. You know what I mean? Jay-Z's a rich MFer. Well, I ain't even got to say Jay-Z. Let me stop. I ain't even got to say Jay-Z. This weekend, Agent Orange just called Barack Obama a criminal. So yeah, if it can happen to Barack, 8 years and went by, this dude had not near scandal. Like, he had some mishaps and some flubs, and he had to apologize for some things and whatnot. You know, the thing with the drone and the American dude got caught in the drone strike. Yeah, all that. But nothing criminal. That falls under war, like wartime casualties. Not no criminal stuff. My man just woke up one morning and said, you know what I'm going to say on Twitter? Barack hacked, or he bugged my phones. What? What? So yeah, B, Colin Kaepernick, if you feel like that's what Colin Kaepernick did, he's right. Apparently, we all have the capacity to be criminals. Every black man has the capacity to be a criminal in the eyes of white America. Hell out of here, man. He says, number 2, he flagrantly stereotyped our nation's police officers. He gives, like, you gotta miss me with the percentages too, white people. Stop doing that. Because none of this stuff is factual. 99.9% of whom are good people who put everything on the line for our safety and well-being. He even showed up to practice wearing anti-police officer socks with pigs on them. That reminds me, I forgot to order mine. I found them on eBay. I forgot to order them. Yeah, I'm going to get me a couple, too. I don't want no trouble, but, you know, I'm just that dude. Sometimes you feel like starting some ish. You know what I mean? Number 3, he repeatedly disgraced the national anthem and worse. Also did it on 9/11, a day that all Americans should hold close to their hearts. Miss me with the planned patriotism, B. You know what I mean? I'm good on all that. Yeah, stand up and put your hands over your heart before the football game. Just start the game. I ain't here for that. I ain't here for no 7-year-old singing no damn racist song. Start the game. That's what I turned on Fox for, cuz. I don't want to see all that. Slapped our great military men and women in the face, many of whom have paid the ultimate price to give him his freedom. Oh, you mean like the one to protest when ish is terrible? See, white folks like this are the ones that tell their kids that they're great at everything, never wanting to disappoint. That makes you a bad parent, by the way. If you're listening to this and you do that with your kids, you're a bad parent. Good parenting is correcting, pointing out the flaws. Jimmy's not that good at math. We got to go get Jimmy a math tutor. Oh, Jimmy, don't worry about it. This math stuff just doesn't like you. You're great. All right. All right. Cool. You ever seen a dude that can't count at the strip club? Yeah, he go home and find out his light's been cut off, don't he? Hell out of here. Showed a pure lack of gratitude to a capitalist system that has given him everything he has. That's the other white folks go to right there too, dude. That's the one where it's like, you damn uppity N-word, you better be happy you here, that you're able to get that money. Because apparently his athletic prowess and his ability to amuse you, white boy, who can't do anything, even dream about the stuff that he's capable of doing, that had nothing to do with him getting that money. It was just like random selection. Yeah. He's been a terrible role model for our kids. Maybe yours, Biff. Our youth are extremely impressionable and see their heroes protesting the national anthem. So without knowing better or questioning it, they follow suit. There were even some high school football teams that started protesting because of Punk Kaepernick. See, this is how you know where people stand on. You can't even make your point without being juvenile. Punk Kaepernick. This is who we are in white America. That exemplifies everything. His name just can't be Colin, Mr. Kaepernick, Colin Kaepernick, Punk Kaepernick, right? You got to put the editorial in it. My man, it's all good. And lastly, he erroneously called his protest freedom of speech. My favorite one, the one that I led the segment off with. Of course, you are allowed freedom of speech in this country, but don't disrespect our... There's always a but, isn't there? You got a freedom of speech, but slavery's over. But don't disrespect your national anthem and everything it stands for. It stands for racism, my man. If white people were just the least bit literate, read it. It's racist as hell. This country, I told my man DeMario the other day, the dude that does my big voice stuff for the show. This country is the opposite of FUBU. For black people. It's neither for us or by us. Any part of it. We just here, man. Like, people who look like us just got dropped off many, many years ago and weren't given a ride back. And so we got stuck here to try to assimilate ourselves into these rules that were made only to make us less than. He said, don't disrespect your fans and employer. You want your freedom of speech? Go stand on the street corner on Monday morning and hold up a sign. There's your freedom of speech. This couldn't get more racist if I made it up, cuz. Oh, you damn N-word. Your rights are what I tell you they are, boy. He called his protest dishonorable. It's time for him to grow up, apologize, get some real American pride, or leave. That's the best one, too. When white folks just say leave and go where, dude? Where you gonna go? You gonna go back to Ireland or wherever, Portugal, my man? Do you realize that as black people, we don't even know where we from? Because Africa is not a country, it's a continent full of countries, many of them. And we have no idea. Just look at the Ancestry.com commercial, the one with the black dude. I think he's a gay dude too. Not that matters at all, but there's a black dude on there. He's like, yeah, it showed me exactly where I'm from one of these 8 regions. That's not exactly, B. You know what I mean? Like, exactly is like my address growing up was 4333 Flakes Mill Road, Decatur, Georgia. You know what I mean? That's exact right there. Not like I could have been from Decatur or East Point or maybe Alpharetta, Macon, Savannah. You know what I mean? That's not exact. You don't know, man, because you got brought over here as freaking cargo, cuz, like cows and chickens. So when white folks say leave, all right, you do the research, B. Tell me where to go. Tell me where your granddaddy kidnapped me from, cuz. Let's do that. Anyway, as I mentioned, this dude's name, if you want to look him up, is Steve Siebold. If you want to jump on his social media and give him hell for being a racist sack of crap. Steve Siebold is a former professional athlete and a psychological performance coach. He is also the author of 177 mental toughness secrets to the world. The mental toughness. Just hate Negroes. Hashtag bring Negro back. I'm trying to do that. Bring Negro back. What up, Reggie? I don't know if Reggie heard me talking about him, but gotta get Reggie up to speed because we gotta start taking this show to another level, man. Be looking out for the Reggie Smart show. I don't know what he's gonna call it. We're gonna get Reggie started on some stuff here in a second too. But let's take a break. Come back, do on this day. The truth we don't know. Oh, Colonizer did a great job of taking everything away from us. Dude, before I go to break, on PBS, Henry Gates has a special out. I've only seen the first part of it, but it's called, I think, The History of Africa. It's outstanding, dude. It's everything that no one in your school could have ever taught you, man, about how everything before the slave trade started, like what Africa was like before that, how they got into bed with the Portuguese and how Catholicism got into Africa, into the Congo and specifically. It's mad crazy, man. I think it's called The History of Africa. But Henry Gates, man, the dude that does all the stuff, the race stuff for PBS, go check it out on demand, man. It'll blow your damn mind. I've only seen the first part of it. It's 2 hours, 3 parts, 2 hours each, but it'll blow your damn mind. So I come back, do on this day, get into some of this other stuff. The Combine. I got some NBA stuff I want to talk about too as well. And some wacky stuff, man. Some like weirdo stuff from Tim Tebow right here on Spreaker.com, the Spreaker app. Tune in. And of course, One Mic with BigMike.com. I'll be back.
One Mic.
I have one question for you.
Do you or someone you know run a business that could benefit from additional exposure? The One Mic with Big Mike show is currently taking on new sponsors and advertisers. One Mic with Big Mike is currently syndicated across 8 different online platforms, and your company's name could be heard and seen across all 8 as well.
Let's get to work.
Please send all inquiries to Mike at onemicwithbigmike.com. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your continued support.
All I need is one mic.
It may be hard to believe, but people just like you are already saving money. FeedThePig.org makes it easy. Their simple savings plan teaches you how to start saving without going overboard. So you don't need to mooch off your friends.
You gonna finish that grape?
You mean the one in my mouth?
You don't need to stop buying the necessities.
What you're smelling is a natural musk.
Ew.
You don't need to be a medical test subject.
How do you feel?
Mostly okay. Sometimes, though.
You don't need to get a second job as a stuntman.
We need a new stuntman. Let's break for lunch.
You just need an internet connection. Don't get left behind. Start your personal savings plan with the tips and tools on feedthepig.org. That way, you don't need to sell your soul to the devil.
$15 is the best I can do.
All right, deal.
Brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
And now, back to One Mic.
What are we waiting for? Let's get to it.
With Big Mike.
Welcome back to the Monday episode of the One Mic with Big Mike show. Is the Nicki Minaj Remy Ma situation, is it done now? I saw she put out a different another. She tried to do like the Drake back-to-back situation, and it kind of cost her. I mean, it was whack. For lack of a better term, it was whack. And I think people turned the page. Then Nicki showed up at, I don't know where the hell she was at, Paris Fashion Week or somewhere, with one breasticle out, like the whole luscious breasticle. Like, yeah, it was pretty good. You know what I mean? Shout out to her for that. Yeah, I was clowning her ass last week, but she came to show you that the breasticles, oh, that was ignorantly stupid. The breasticles are still in rare form. Oh, I just said Nicki Minaj has testicles. Diss track coming soon. Anyway. So we started the show off. Yeah, exactly. Look at Big L, man. Like, dude, a win is a win, dude. Looking fake as hell. I don't know, dude. Like, dude, I'm not a dude. Like, before I get into On This Day, I got to get into On This Day real quick. But, like, I've never been a dude that's been on that. You know what I mean? Like, weave and all that. Like, my old lady, she wear her hair natural, right? But I don't care. Because, look, every now and then she'll go to, like, the Dominicans and they'll straighten it out. And she'll have straight hair. You know what I mean? It's just whatever she feel like today. But I don't care. Like, even if she was like a weave chick, I'm just type of dude that just says, do it right. You know, make it look right. Now I see where Big L's coming from with like the ass shots. They're getting outrageously crazy and unrealistic. But I don't know, dude. That Nicki Minaj outfit was a win, B. I mean, like, yeah, that breasticle was just like sitting there, like, yeah, the doctor did a good job on those, man. I'm not gonna front on those at all, man. So a win to me, like, you winning. If it's something that technology can help you do better, it's like having a cell phone. You know what I'm saying? It helps you communicate better. It's technology, and if technology can move you forward into a different place, because like here's the thing, I said it on Wednesday, last Wednesday, right? There's plenty of bras out here trying to get those looks, and they broke. At least she parlayed hers into, I think, what was it, $70 million? Yeah, I'll take that. Yeah, hell, if somebody don't give me $70 million, I'll get ass shots. I mean, you see this overgrown man walk around the city of Atlanta with freaking ass shots. Me. Yeah, $70 million. Yeah, I can take some Twitter trolling and criticism and whatever. Yeah, run it. Anyway, speaking of run it, man, let's take a look back.
Now, let's take a look back. On this day.
I think I just had a visual experience. Your man with butt shots. Jesus Christ. That's a horrifying thing. What am I doing here? Oh, on this day. Sorry. On this day in 1973, in an exhibition game between the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Minnesota Twins, Larry, I think this is Heil, like Heil Hitler, Hisle. I think that's spelled differently, though. Becomes the first designated hitter. He hits 2 home runs and knocks in 7 damn RBIs. That's a hell of a debut for a position. On this day in 1983, hashtag Donald Trump, the United States Football League, a.k.a. the USFL, begins its first season. On this day in 1985, Iron Mike Tyson, before he was actually Iron Mike, he makes his professional debut in Albany, New York. A match he wins by a first-round knockout of Hector Mercedes. You remember that was the thing, man? Like, Mike Tyson was, like, cheating dudes on they pay-per-view. He just walking in the ring. It's like him and Michael Spinks. 90 seconds later, everybody's going home. And I hope you enjoyed the pre-bouts or whatever they called, the undercard. Because Mike getting busy in, like, 2 minutes or under. And then he started biting people's ear off. You know what Mike Tyson taught me about sports, to be honest with you? Is to never hit your wagon too tightly to any one of these people. Because you don't know them. You know, you end up being disappointed. Like, Mike Tyson he got the rape bid or whatever, did a bid for rape. But he kept saying he didn't do it, and there was questions around. All right, you know, we can vibe with with not knowing exactly what happened. But B, I saw you bite that man's ear off. And you tried to do it twice, cuz I can't rock with that. I can't rock with no dude that do that, man. So yeah, he was my lesson, and you got to know when to jump ship. So all y'all that want to, like, love riding with Michael Vick and all this kind of stuff, at some point, man, you got to jump ship, B. And finally, on this day in 1988, Julie Crone, she becomes the winningest female jockey with 1,205 victories. Don't forget, I always put these on here, and anytime something comes up with jockeying or horse racing, Google jockey syndrome. Just Google jockey syndrome, bros, and you'll get a little lesson courtesy of the One Mike with Big Mike show. It'll blow your mind. It'll open up things for you as far as the state of sports, today in 2017. That is your Monday edition of On This Day. Dude, I saw this thing today, and I sometimes refuse to talk about Tim Tebow on this show because I think it's like we used to do it on the radio show. And it would be one of those things that you just say Tim Tebow, Mike Vick, or something like that. And in the phone lines, people just hear those names and they feel like I got to call in and say something stupid about how great Tim Tebow is. And it's like, oh God, he's awful at playing professional quarterback, and now at playing professional whatever position he plays in baseball. But that's not what I want to talk about. So Tim Tebow, he proclaims he wants to be a parent, which, within a vacuum, not a big deal, right? Tim Tebow is like 26, 7 years old. It's that time for him to be thinking about, this athletics thing isn't working out for me. I peaked at Florida. Time to probably move on. Well, in true Tim Tebow fashion, He says, I want to adopt a child from every continent. Oh, my man. Like, this was just too scrumptious for me to just scroll by it. I was like, all right, now I got to read it now. Because I want to see how he's going to pull this off. Because he could do it the player way. You know what I mean? He's Tim Tebow. He can go to every continent and bang some broad and knock her up and do it that way. But, of course, those Major League Baseball checks he getting. Well, I don't think he's getting no big ones. He's getting, like, endorsement checks. And people paying out the ass for him to sign baseballs for him and stuff like that. And he got a little cash because he was a first round pick in the NFL draft. But I don't think it's enough for all that child support. 7 continents, 7 broads. I want free Eddie. Give me half. You got to be of age to know what that is. Fufu, son. So anyway, he said, I want to adopt so badly. This is a quote. I want to adopt so badly. You know what I think would be awesome? If I could adopt a kid from every continent. I want to sit around the dinner table every night and see kids from Africa, Asia, Europe, South America, and right here in the States. You got to find a kid from Antarctica too, B. You got to find like a cold ass orphan in Antarctica. And then my man gets real too. He gets like on some Bachelor-ish. I don't watch that show, but I see like on Highly Questionable, they do like a segment every day with the show. So I get the premise of it. That dude says any potential spouse would have to be on board with his dream. My man, that Tebow trying to show you that pimp hand, how strong it is. I'm looking for someone who loves Jesus, loves people, and 5-way orgies. No, sorry, no, he didn't say that part. He didn't say the last part. Like, I think, man, Tim Tebow, he's got like some bodies in the basement, B. Not even skeletons in the closet. He got like bodies in the basement because, like, this dude, I'm a skeptic. I don't trust nobody. I got like major trust issues, man. That dude says, he said it's his favorite thing to dream about. He dreams about children from every continent. Who man is this, man? like, what is that about? My dream is to adopt a kid from every continent. My man, you got to bag back, cause like, yeah, the time to play is over with. I mean, that stuff that you messing with, nobody want none of that. Like, what bride is trying to sign up for that? Even if you are like, you're Tim Tebow, but you're not financially Tim Tebow anymore. And that's a problem. Like, if a bride is gonna like sign up for that, let me tell you something. 2 of the richest people in the world, Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie in English, couldn't even make that work. They had babies from everywhere, didn't they? Adopted a bunch of them, and then finally they was like, man, damn this, we out. We ain't trying to be together, because you probably have no privacy. You got all these different kids from different backgrounds. They trying to learn about each other, and they trying to mess with you all the time. Yeah, dog. Tim Tebow, he trying to sign somebody up for a damn nervous breakdown. That's what happened to her ass. You see how skinny she got? And all, like, emaciated? That's probably what happened, dog. Them damn kids sucked the damn life out of her ass. Anyway, it's the One Mic with Big Mike show. I'm here on a Monday, man. Make sure you guys are signing up for your free Spreaker accounts as well. SPREAKER.com, and sign up for your free, and follow me. That's what I mean to say. Follow me on Spreaker. Also, make sure you like my Facebook page where I'm streaming live video at right now. I'm at One Mic with Big Mike on Spreaker, Twitter, and Instagram. Go to my Twitter and check out the hashtag. Put it on the poll questions. If you got something you want to put on the poll, just go hashtag put it on the poll and at One Mic with Big Mike, and we'll get to it, man. 404-902-8104 is the number you want to text me at. You can jump in this live interactive chat room where you can leave comments and questions right below the live streaming video here on Facebook that Reggie's supposed to be sharing. Reggie, you gotta go to my Facebook page, B. I think Reggie's going to my my personal page. You gotta go to my Facebook page, my son, and grab the video and share that. Yeah, if Reggie's still listening, Reggie probably somewhere eating dinner or something. He probably bowed out. I want to hear that crap about no damn Tim Tebow having 17 kids from 81 different continents. Anyway, so that the draft combine wrapped up today in Indianapolis. One of my favorite events of the NFL, maybe of the NFL season, man. To be honest with you, I was going to say off season, but the NFL didn't really have an off season. Some things I saw were I think a lot of people look at these things to look at the combine to be as though the decision to be made on the player is done at the NFL combine based on what the player accomplishes or does at the NFL combine. Like last year, that kid from Georgia, Keith Marshall. Keith Marshall ain't played but dang 2 games damn near at Florida. Hurt all the damn time. At Georgia, excuse me. Shows up at the combine, runs a 4.3. And dudes was seriously real seriously talking about this dude going in the first or second round. When everyone had him going undrafted. And he did. Played a couple games I saw with the Washington Redskins. And I'm not sure if he got cut or if he ended the season with them. I don't know. I know they had some running back issues up there. A couple of their main guys were hurt, so I don't know if he continued to get run up there like how Isaiah Crowell did. A guy who ended up, was just kind of outlasting people and being the last healthy man, and then ended up turning into a decent, for whatever that's worth, a decent running back, or a decent NFL running back after having some troubles at the University of Georgia, and I think transferring then to, God, where did Rob go? Alabama A&M or Alabama State? Yeah, he ended up transferring to Alabama State. So my takeaways from the combine are very simple. I got to get my guy Alex Kaptov on the phone on Wednesday to really get an in-depth scouting type of eye and what he saw. But yeah, dude, I sat there and I watched a lot of. I used to be worse. I used to freaking DVR it so I could go back and watch the stuff that I missed. But I didn't do that this year. I just kind of watched what I could. Getting older, man. I mean, like, time is of the essence. I don't really have time to just park it and watch dudes run in shorts and jump and bench press. Speaking of the bench press, a guy who I don't know what it is. I'm not gonna say I don't know what it is. I'm gonna take a stab at it. Christian McCaffrey, the fact that he's white and he's a running back and he gets a lot of attention, and maybe a lot of it is because he's white. Because you don't see that a lot. He's in sports for the longest for decades and decades. There's always been a thing since black people have gotten into sports and dominated certain sports. White America has always been in search of their great white hype or great white hope. Great White Hype was a movie, right? Great white hope. Let me say it slowly with my mumble mouth. That's my water. Take a sip of water. So yeah. And I think people think that this kid falls into that category because he plays on the West Coast. He plays in Stanford. Stanford wasn't particularly good this year as well. He was hurt a lot this year. So coming off of that Heisman campaign the year before I don't know if that was his sophomore year or junior year, but the year before last, people who didn't get to see him play, their attentions were caught now. But in this year, he didn't have as good a season as he had the year before. I've seen the kid play for 2 years. I actually, last year, for a lot of the season, he was one of my Heisman favorites. I thought he was going to end up winning it. The kid was so awesome with the football in his hand in so many different ways. And David Shaw did a good job out in Stanford on getting him the football. But he shows up at the combine. And the first drill, the bench press, doesn't do well. He only benches 10. He only puts up 10 reps on the bench press. And then in one of these Facebook groups that I'm in, that became a place of contention. Oh, weak ass. He ain't been lifting. He ain't in the weight room. And it's one of those things that I just felt compelled to step into and say, you know what? You got to come into the present. This is not 1992 anymore. People don't work out in the same ways anymore. Like, the bench press was a staple when I was in school. I graduated from high school in 1995. I graduated college 99, right? And played ball all the way through. And then the bench press was a thing. Bench press, incline press, all that kind of stuff was a thing that you did. But now technology, again, back to technology. Technology has progressed in a way where that's not a staple. I even heard them at the combine say, for those, especially for the skill guys, this would probably be the last time that they do a bench press. So you can only imagine at a school like Stanford, smart schools like Stanford, and these progressive schools like Oregon. You see, they brought in Willie Taggart into Oregon. He damn near killed 3 of the players trying to work them out because they don't work out the same anymore. People are there's a lot more focus on things like functional strength, flexibility, recovery, things like that. Things that we didn't have back in the day. It was like you just show up and you sore. You got to lift again. you got to lift that soreness out of you. And people understand what people are more apt to tell these athletes today what their bodies are telling them and what kind of specific exercises they need in order to perform at peak level based on the position that they play. So for Christian McCaffrey, he didn't bench well, but like quietly, people didn't look at all his other stuff. My man ran a 4.4. He showed up in the cone drills. Had one of the best of all time in the 3-cone, which tests your agility, your ability to stop and start. Things like that matter for a kid that's playing running back. Being able to bench 1,000 pounds, not really so much. It's cool and it's impressive when you're able to do that. If he was able to do that, but he wasn't. People started talking about he's a weakling. People, and you could tell people haven't seen the kid play football, because we got him at some point. You got to come off the combine stuff and then start talking football. What kind of football player is this? For example, Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett is a hell of a football player. Myles Garrett is also had a hell of a combine. So there are times when you get both of those things, and it's like, damn, that's what greatness looks like. I don't know what kind of player he'll be in the NFL. I'd be hard pressed to say that he won't at least be decent. Like, for example, I think Jadeveon Clowney has come into his own somewhat this year, towards the back end of last year, after some injuries. And that's the other thing with this kid, Myles Garrett. He got some injury history. He was hurt a lot last year playing for Texas A&M. I saw games with him trying to limp on and off the field, just trying to play every play. And it's like, B, you got a future ahead of you. And apparently he's right, and I was wrong about that. It didn't matter, because he showed up and jumped 41 inches. 270 pounds. This dude ran 4.6 at 270 pounds. Yeah, damn all your player safety ridiculousness and nonsense. You understand what I'm saying? A dude running 4.6 at 270 pounds, it don't matter what technique he uses. If he catch your ass clean, you getting concussed. Plain and simple. Hey, they looking for people to compare this dude to and all this kind of stuff. Look, man, this dude is Julius Peppers like 5 years ago, 6 years ago, Julius Peppers. Because to people who remember Julius Peppers coming out of North Carolina, he wasn't the NFL player he was. Julius Peppers was a lot leaner, maybe around 240, playing basketball on the basketball team. Of course, that's where you would play basketball, wouldn't it be? Yeah. Yeah, he was a lot leaner guy, and he just got huge, but stayed athletic and fast. You know what I mean? This kid, Myles Garrett, is already there. And I don't mean as far as the type of player he'll be, because again, you don't know. And that's the other thing about this whole combine thing. Understanding that you don't know. Like every year, man, you get guys that come out of the blue. Like Antonio Brown's he's arguably the best receiver in the league. I know people say Julio Jones a lot, but you can make the argument Antonio Brown, Julio Jones. It's a toss up. You know what I mean? 6th round pick. They showed his 40 time the other day, running with some other wide receivers, getting blown away. But tell me the last time you saw that dude get caught from the back in an NFL game. Yeah, I'll wait. It's real talk, man. Like this combine stuff, it's not the end all be all for anybody, because these people are still football players. Anquan Bolden ran 4.7. Alshon Jeffrey, I think, ran 4.7 as well. You say to yourself, that's ridiculous. How you going to play a wide receiver in the league? Well, Anquan Bolden showed up in the first game with the Arizona Cardinals and caught the ball for 250 plus yards. That whole nonsense about this guy did this, so it's going to be this awesome. He's going to be this awesome in the league. You don't know. A lot of it comes down to fit. This is what I was telling the last time I talked to Alex Kaptoff from NFL Draft Blitz. If you heard that interview on the show, I made mention to the fact that Ezekiel Elliott is going to ruin some people's careers. He's going to ruin Leonard Fournette's career. I think Leonard Fournette would be all right if Carolina drafts him at, what are they picking, 5, 6, something like that? Carolina? Anybody know? Let's just say 5 for argument's sake. He goes to Carolina. I think they'll be all right. They got some work to do up front. But he's got a mobile quarterback, and mobile quarterbacks tend to help running backs because those defensive ends can't crash. They always have to respect boot action. This is why Chris Johnson was able to run for 2,000 yards playing with Vince Young. This is why he polished so hard to have Vince Young come back, because he understood that running lanes were able to be open by the fact that that defensive end or that last man on the line of scrimmage has to always respect the running ability of the quarterback. So if Leonard Fournette goes to Carolina, yeah, I think he'll be all right. You start naming some of these other teams, these Jacksonvilles of the world, hold on. I mean, Carlos Hyde is out there in San Francisco. I don't even know the draft order. I think I'm saying it correctly just off the top of my head. I don't have it in front of me. I'm just thinking about the bad teams from last year, man. I mean, Chicago got their running back, another 6th-round kid. I love me a 4th, 5th, 6th-round running back, because all day long, like, you can keep all these dudes. Like, I love, like, Dalvin Cook. I think he's awesome. He didn't run very well at the combine. He's not as well as you might have anticipated. He looked a lot faster on the football field. I think he ran somewhere around 4.6 or whatnot. This kid, Joe Mixon, got his pro day coming up here in just a little while. He'll get a chance to show out or show his skill level for the scouts. There's a lot of running backs. This is a deep running back class. I'd be damned if I was running the team. I'd be damned if I picked a running back in the 1st round. Leonard Fournette has to be a 2nd-round pick all day long. As talented as that dude is, 240. That dude stepped in the room at 240, and I'm looking at this dude like, what the hell is about to happen? Like, I know Derrick Henry was huge as hell last year, but Derrick Henry is also freaking like 6'12". He's a monster. He's a giant of a human being. Leonard Fournette was 6 foot, so I'm like, all right, I need to see what this dude runs, man. Leonard Fournette got his ass down in his stance and took off and ended up 4.5 seconds later. He's 250 running a 4.5. And what's real is I overreacted to that. Like, I thought that was the ish until his homeboy, I'm sorry. They didn't play on the same team. I'm thinking about this other kid from Bama. Golly. The name just... O.J. Howard is who I was initially talking about. O.J. Howard shows up 10 pounds heavier than Leonard Fournette and runs one's a tenth or 100th of a second faster than him. Like, yeah, the world is losing its mind. Like, football is violent, man. That fast, that much speed, and that much power, the inertia that comes from that, ain't no damn way. Ain't no way you being safe. There's no way to do that, man. Who else forgot to mention the kid, John Ross, kid out of Washington. All year long, I was telling y'all, man, watch Washington, man. Washington is not just this gimmicky trickery team, just out of nowhere Cinderella team. They was real good. Chris Peterson had them boys playing well. And now you see this kid, John Ross, run his 4.22 in the 40-yard dash. He ran 4.22, and then had the damn nerve to say, man, I feel like I could have run faster. And he might have been right, though, because at the end, he said at the end before he crossed the finish line, he started locking up. His calves started locking up on him, like cramping up. So, God, to me, I had to move that fast as a human being. Like, I wonder how many miles an hour that is. That has to be somewhere around like 25, 26 miles an hour, man. That's moving. He did that. But the sour note is he did it in Nikes. And I told you guys on last Wednesday that Reebok was telling folks, not Reebok, sorry. Reebok is owned by Adidas, for you guys who don't know that. But Adidas told people if they wear their cleats, you saw those kids with the leopard print cleats on, those were the Adidas. If they rock them joints and they break Chris Johnson's record, they get an island worth $1 million, or if you don't want an island, they give you $1 million. When he was asked about not wearing the shoes, John Ross said, well, I can't swim that well, and I don't have no boat, so, I just rock with the Nikes. Nah, read the fine print, cuz. There was also $1 million in there, too, which made it funny to me that the big guys, the fat boys had on, they had on the leopard print joints, too. Like, dawg, you don't have a chance, cuz. You know what I mean? You don't have a damn chance in the world, but I get, you got to be in it to win it. I guess like the lottery. Let's take a break, man. It's the top of the hour here on the One Mic with Big Mike show. Let's take a break, come back, and finish up this combine talk. And I got some more like weird, stupid stuff to talk to you guys about. Even Agent Orange. Agent Orange trying to put charges on the Prez, man. On the real Prez. The one of one. You know what I mean? None before him, none to come. This is the One Mic with Big Mike show. Spreaker. The Spreaker app. Tune in, OneMicWithBigMike.com. You can hear me live there. every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, starting at 7 o'clock. Don't forget the show is also available on those 4 platforms on demand. If you missed the live version, you can catch it on those 4 outlets as well as on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Google Play Music, and, of course, YouTube. And I teach my new producers, Reggie and Marcus, how to upload these videos because I've been promising to do it, and I'm like on some next level dumb stuff. Ain't really got to it. So anyway, we'll come back and I'll finish up this conversation and talk about some more foolery, some more buffoonery and and foolery.
I have one question for you.
Do you or someone you know run a business that could benefit from additional exposure? The One Mic with Big Mike show is currently taking on new sponsors and advertisers. One Mic with Big Mike is currently syndicated across 8 different online platforms, and your company's name could be heard and seen across all 8 as well.
Let's get to work.
Please send all inquiries to Mike at onemicwithbigmike.com. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your continued support.
All I need is one mic.
When is the best time to talk to your family about staying in touch during a disaster? When floodwaters reach your door? When wildfires are engulfing the edge of your neighborhood? Or an earthquake is destroying buildings? When a tornado is tearing through town? Or a hurricane strikes? Or is the best time perhaps today? During a disaster, you may not be able to stay in touch with your family or friends as easily as you think. And it's not always as simple as using your cell phone. That's why now is the time to take action. Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
One Mic.
All I need is one mic.
What's the name of the show?
One Mic with Big Mike.
You know, ain't nobody getting hurt, ain't nobody. You know, there's no crime being committed.
And they say his style is too urban for the radio.
This is real life stuff that's happened to me.
Well, you know what?
You, and you.
One Mic with Big Mike.
I like to be able to do what I want to do.
A sports talk show, but no subject matter is off limits.
Meek Mill's concert is not called the Hell Yeah I Bang Khloe Kardashian concert.
And now, your host.
Put your hands together for the one, the only
Big Mike.
All I need is one mic.
All right, I'll do that next segment. Welcome back to the One Mic with Big Mike show here. Spreaker.com, the Spreaker app, tune in, and of course, onemicwithbigmike.com. I'm also streaming live video on my Facebook page, which is at One Mic with Big Mike. While you're there, make sure you give it a good liking. Share it with all your friends as well, man. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. The One Mic with Big Mike show is here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, starting at 7 o'clock. To get in contact, text the show at 404-902-8104. You can also leave your comments and questions below the live streaming video here on Facebook, or you can jump inside my live interactive chat room. You must be listening via Spreaker, or, of course, the Spreaker app, or my website, onemicwithbigmike.com. You'll see a little thought bubble icon sitting right there on the streaming player. Just click on that. It'll get you inside the live interactive chat room. Shout out to my man, Big L. My man, Reggie's up in here, man. What up? What else I need to tell you guys, man? Chat room. It'll come to me. Brain fart, man. I've been hitting the head way too many times in my life, and plus, I'll be at the end of this month, man. I'll be 40 years old, man. And I'm not really looking forward to that at all. Not just. I mean, I don't care about aging and all that, but it's like as a dude, there's like certain medical things that you got to get done to you at like that 40-year-old threshold. That's like way too invasive for your man. You know what I mean? Like I can't. It's just hard. It's like if anybody got a doctor, like a primary care physician that's got like small hands, you know, I'll let your man just DM me, like hit me in a DM or whatever it's called, message me or whatever, you know, whoever that doctor may be, because bruhs know what I'm talking about. And bruhs, you gotta get it done, man. Like you gotta get your your prostate. You gotta get your prostate checked out, man. Early detection and all that kind of stuff. You don't want to get messed up, man. I guess too that like as bruhs we're more susceptible to it. So you gotta get it done, man. Just make sure the doctor take off that class ring, take that championship ring off before it's time to rock, man. God, man, it's like it's 2017. How is there not a less invasive way to do that. Matter of fact, I know there is, because on this show called, I forget the name of it, the dude that did Super Size Me, he does a show on CNN, but he went to Bangkok and basically you had to drink this liquid and they give you a camera to swallow. It's like the size of a shark oil pill, and you swallow it and then you doodle it out. And you have to retrieve it. You have to retrieve your own pill. And then they plug it up like USB style, and they look through your colon, dude. They look through to make sure ain't nothing in there. Like, dude, you ain't got to be putting your finger in me, man. Like, this America. Ain't no way Bangkok, you know what I mean, should be more advanced than America. As you can tell, I've really thought this out, man, that it's one of those things that got to be done. But I just feel like at some point, man, I feel like a Tuskegee Airman. Like, you ain't really got to go down like that, but y'all telling me that it's going to go down like that. Anyway, what are we talking about? We were talking about the Combine. You know, everybody's reaction to the Combine. People who don't watch enough college football try to, like, jam it into this exhibition of these cats running around in shorts and barefoot, well, no socks and shoes and all this kind of craziness. You don't really get this is not the full picture. Once again, man, if you guys want to really like look at prospects, go to NFLDraftBreakdown.com, man, or check out my man Alex Cabtall's website, NFL Draft Blitz, and you get an insight of who these guys are, what they've done during the season, in case you didn't get a chance to see somebody who played at Eastern Michigan or, you know what I mean, one of these small schools. But they may be like this kid. There's this kid out of Villanova, another kid out of Utah, another UConn DB that was doing work this weekend. You may not have seen those people. I know I didn't, but you get an opportunity to, if you want to be informed, man. You know what I mean? Like, there's some cats that's in this group that I'm in just arguing back and forth about stuff, and neither one of them know what the hell they're talking about. You know what I mean? Like, some dude is in this group actually defending Trent Richardson. Who don't know that Trent Richardson can't play NFL football? The decision. I remember working with this dude named Jamie Dukes. He used to play, I think y'all see him sometimes on NFL Network. When we was at the radio station, that dude said, I don't even know if we were working together at this time. No, this was before we worked together. I heard him say that Trent Richardson was a no-brainer. And anyone who knows me knows. I said it before. Drafting a running back in the first round is idiotic. I don't care. I don't care what happened with the Cowboys. That's what's called an outlier. You know what reality is? It's Todd Gurley. You draft a dude with a bunch of talent, and you stick him on a crap team. Melvin Gordon. You put him on a team with a dude that may end up in the Hall of Fame playing as a quarterback in Phillip Rivers. The team is trash. And for whatever it's worth and whatever you think Melvin Gordon did last year, he scored a bunch of times before he got hurt. But Melvin Gordon, they run that ball well last year. He had some explosive runs, but when it came down to the fourth quarter, they couldn't give him the football. He wasn't grinding out yards, so he still didn't have a good season. Like, numbers wise, it looked like something that it wasn't. He was on my fantasy team. I know these things. So yeah, you can keep your first round running back. You may be like in this year, I would say your second round running back. I'm good. Fournette, Dalvin Cook. Everybody's intrigued for this kid from Tennessee that stayed behind the Jalen Hurts. Then Jalen Hurts he transferred, and I can't think of the kid's name, but this kid from Tennessee had a nice combine as well. Let's see what else I got on the combine here. I talked about Myles Garrett. Another edge rusher, Tim Williams out of Alabama. He admitted to failing multiple drug tests while he was at Bama, all up in that process. That just, I mean, like, I'm not going to come down on the kid for that. Whatever, he's a college kid. But it just shows you that based on who you are in that program and in that quote-unquote process, yeah, there's certain things that don't apply. Like, you can get away with as much as you want because he ain't missed no damn games. Let me read it because he got caught. Yeah, Tim Williams is his name. He was arrested in September for carrying a pistol without a permit. This is that guy, if you remember this story. After the police smelled marijuana coming from Williams' vehicle. Luckily for him, the passenger admitted that the marijuana was his. The old Chris Carter rule. Get you a guy that's going to take that L for you, my man. He listened, though. He listened. He got his man to take the L, and he never missed a game, man. Now he's on his way to the NFL. And, of course, the league people don't care if you smoke weed. They just care if you get caught smoking weed, because then you got to miss games. You can't contribute to wins. That's where the problem lies. And so now him admitting this, it's probably going to hurt him because, last year Randy Gregory did the same thing. He was suspended, though. He got caught and suspended during school time. He said, look, man, I got a problem, man. I used the weed to help me cope. And he told people that he wasn't going to do it no more. But it's like, this dude admitted to you, not that he just smokes weed, that he has a dependency on it. And he probably has some other things going on, some emotional things, some mental things going on. NFL just like, weed, suspended. All right. I'm not saying that they don't owe him nothing. They don't owe Randy Gregory nothing. But they always talk about this player safety situation and these mandates for player safety. Like, part of that also goes to the mental health and the mental safety of these guys, man. And this dude is telling you that I don't smoke weed because I just want to get high. I'm sure that's a great unintended side effect. But he's telling he got actual issues, man. And most of these dudes don't do that. Most of these dudes just say, I'm going to go to rehab, Marcel Darius, and check myself out in one day. Josh Norman, because they realize the same thing I realize. Marcel Darius is awesome at football. High or not. Y'all heard my man Sean Smith come on my show and tell me that he played 10 years in the league after being an undrafted free agent. 10 plus years in the league. Or I think it was 9 or 10 years in the league. A decade in the league. And would be high on the football field. Would get high before the game. Come on, man. Michael Phelps, loved the weed. One of the best athletes in the world. Usain Bolt, he from Jamaica. Come on. Let's not even fool ourselves with that, right? Hey, man. You want smoke? Yeah, man. Yeah. But for whatever reason, man, all this vilification of this plant, man, these people losing checks and money. Couple other things that came out, and I'll give you guys in a second here the pro days you want to be looking for if you're on that too. Evan Ingram. I talked about O.J. Howard. This dude, Evan Ingram, he's like what's that kid's name that plays for? He went to Florida, plays tight end for the Redskins now. What is his damn name? But he's like that, but faster. This kid ran a 4.4 at tight end. Yeah, eat that up. Speaking of dudes that were fast at positions, Jabril Peppers. Jabril Peppers is a very interesting dude to me. I think Jabril Peppers is he's hashtag football player. You know what I mean? He's just a ball player. But he told everyone he is a safety. They brought him into the combine as a linebacker, but he came back the following day to do the DB drills and killed it. In his DB drills, he ran a fast time. He looked thick too. He looked like he like a dude that was like, yeah, I'm about to do this. And that's the other thing about the combine too. You get to see, you get to see Myles Garrett and O.J. Howard. You get to see their bodies, man. How these dudes, you look at them and say, man, you see dudes that are working. You see what you saw when Lindell White showed up. He was all pudgy and mushy. Former, USC running back. Showed up talking about I'm not going to run and do nothing to exercise. Yeah, you ain't been doing nothing either. We can look at you, pudgy, and see you ain't been doing nothing. So you get to see the kids that, are willing to work, and be prepared. So this kid, Evan Ingram, man, he showed up and, fast as hell. Jabril Peppers looked good in the DB drills. He proclaimed that I'm a safety. Now there's going to be an issue to seeing him play football coming off the hash. He only had one interception at Michigan, which for a dude that's such a playmaker, you would think it would be more, but, he only got one. Those are the bounces, I guess. He's a very, very intriguing prospect to me because you want to say that this dude is going to kill it at the next level. But also he's like it's like that, people talk about having low floors and high ceilings and things like that. He's one of those dudes that has a low floor and a high ceiling, which means that I could see this dude just being some like journeyman football player from team to team. People trying to figure out what is it that he does well. He's a good football player, but we got to find out what he does well, and maybe never finding it out. Like Devin Hester. People tried everything with Devin Hester. Running back, wide receiver. He played corner. until people just like, all right, F it. He just runs. Let him catch the ball and run away from people. Let's just do that. You know, the Bears messed around and paid this dude because their kick returner was going to hold out. And they paid him. Hey, good for him, by the way. You know, get it. But then you pay him. Now you got to figure out a way to justify the payment. Now he's got to play wide receiver. Now he's got to be your main wide receiver. How'd that work out? So I'm gonna be very interested in watching Jabril Peppers and see how where he goes first and foremost, and then how he's then used, how his talents are then used. Okay, let's get into some of these pro days real quick. So I let you guys know, for those of you who want to keep up with that, because these guys, the guys who didn't work out, will have their final opportunity to work out in a group setting. You know, a lot of them will have private workouts if teams call them in and whatnot to knock those out. But in a group setting on their college campuses or whatnot, they'll have one final opportunity to take care of that, and that will be at their pro days. That is if I actually saved it. I did. All right, so a couple of just some of the notable ones. I'm not going to give you every one. Notre Dame's got theirs on March 23rd. You get to see guys like Deshaun Kaiser do his thing. He did all right. He's a big kid, too. That kid, I didn't know he was that big. I heard David Carr talking about, or not David. Is it David? Derek Carr is his brother, the older brother, talking about footwork with him, the inconsistencies in his feet causing the ball to go in different directions. So he'll have an opportunity to kind of clear that up or straighten that out for his pro day. And, throw to some of his guys as well. Clemson is going to be on March 16th. North Carolina, the kid Mitch Trubisky, you get a chance to see him on March 21st. He had an all right pro day as well. I think he impressed at being 6'2", actually being 6'2", and I think he had average size hands was the word on him. You get to see Florida State. They'll have everybody out that joint, man. At Florida State, LSU as well. So you get to see Leonard Fournette go again. I'll be interested to see if he runs another 40 and to see if he's still 240 pounds as well. I want to see that because he said he was retaining water is why he weighed in that much. He didn't feel like he was that much at the time of the on-field drills. Christian McCaffrey, we'll see if he benches again. I wouldn't if I was him. Like, I mean, if 10 is going to erase all of my tape, sweet. You know what I mean? You don't deserve to have your job as a scout. Speaking of scouts, I got to get my guy on too, Rand Carthon from the LA Rams, see if he had some time. I know it's a busy time of year for him. He told me he wanted to come on like around combine time, but I don't think he understood how. Well, I'm not saying he didn't understand, but he didn't anticipate me understanding that he's gonna be like hella busy. So yeah, those are the big ones, man. Ole Miss is another big one because the kid Chad Kelly, who they was talking about, probably got the biggest arm out of this whole quarterback class. You know, he got in a little bit of trouble, like Joe Mixon. So he wasn't able to go to the combine. So that'll be the scouts' first time seeing him, you know, throw the football or whatnot, as well as I don't think I mentioned Oklahoma State, did I? No, because I didn't. Ohio State is going to be on March 23rd, because I don't have Oklahoma State here. I think Oklahoma State is this week, though, as a matter of fact. The end of this week, I think you get to see Joe Mixon do his thing for the scouts as well. And, like, I don't know what the hell is happening. 2 years ago, he punched a girl, and now apparently, you know, I don't know. He's supposed to just wear it like a scarlet letter forever and ever and ever, maybe, I guess. And also, tomorrow, the preliminary free agency period starts. So you guys who cheer for teams that sucked, you get an opportunity now to, you know, maybe, you know, see if someone's out there to bolster your team's chances on winning more games next year. On my Facebook page, I think it's on my Facebook page, but if not, I'll give you guys some of the bigger names that are going to be out there in free agency this year. Calais Campbell, and in this article from The Ringer, they have actually Calais Campbell, big D tackle, big deep voice, you know, D tackle from the Cardinals. He's a free agent, and they're saying the Atlanta Falcons could be a suitor for him with Jonathan Babineau and, you know, Dwight Freeney hitting free agency. They're going to need someone up front, someone like Calais Campbell. I'm not sure how old Calais Campbell is, though. He seems like he's mad old, but that dude might be like 27 years old. It just seems like he's been in the league so long. Deshaun Jackson, wide receiver that can take the lid off of a defense still. You know, shout out to him, too, because when he came out of Cal, man, I was like, yeah, I'm good on this little bitty dude, you know what I mean, playing football with the big boys out there, out wide. But he's found a way to keep himself relatively healthy. Dante Robinson almost murdered him down here in Atlanta one year. But other than that, it's been like hamstring and little things or whatnot. Baltimore Ravens may be a landing spot for him. Mike Wallace had a breakout season last year after a couple of years of large anticipation after he left Pittsburgh, but he showed up a little bit last year for Joe Flacco, who had a bad year for comparatively for what he's been doing as well. So adding Deshaun Jackson to that, they got two like legitimate deep threats out there, two dudes that can run like hell. I also heard the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for Deshaun Jackson as well. You know, to pair him up with Mike Evans, give him that compliment, the deep guy to the big guy, now that Vincent Jackson is going to probably be a free agent and be up out of there. Cornerback A.J. Bouye, a guy that a lot of people might not know about, Texans, I believe, right? He'll be a free agent, so if your team needs corner help, like who doesn't, all these good-ass receivers in the league, who doesn't? Ron Leary, a guard, not sexy, but in the age of the forward pass, you need good, like people always worry about the left tackle. You need good guards, man. You need good guards that allow your quarterbacks to step up in the pocket and deliver the football, and so that they're not always throwing off their back foot. That's how a lot of interceptions happen. So Ron Leary's going to be out there. That's the name. Logan Ryan, cornerback. Of course, Tony Romo. He's not a free agent yet. Jerry Jones is still like, doing that crazy, I want to do right by Tony. Do business, cuz. Tony Romo got paid. He got compensated handsomely. Do business, man. Damn all the emotions. Like, y'all can be friends still. He understands, and you should understand, the nature of the business that you are in. Cut that dude. You only got a couple $1 million in salary cap because of Tony Romo. Cut that dude, man, and then, use the money to do something on defense. Get a corner. Get an end. Get somebody. And then, maybe Tony Romo ends up with Houston after they just, paid Brock Osweiler, but, he ain't really work out. You shot the dice and you came up craps. Denver, of course, because they still got Trevor Siemian and Paxton Lynch, and they might try to relive the Peyton Manning situation where you get the veteran guy come in that you know what he brings to the table, and then poof, Super Bowl, here we go. And then Tony Romo can retire and go work for Jerry Jones in the front office with the Cowboys. That's how I see the story ending. Probably won't, but whatever. Stephon Gilmore, kid out of South Carolina, played with Buffalo, I guess, last year, right? He'll be a free agent as well. These are all the guys who are going to be getting like huge money because there's a lot of money out there. And as you can tell by the names I'm reading off to you, it's not a lot of like, oh my God, cream your pants type of free agents. Russell Okung, another good, solid offensive lineman. Dante Hightower. We all know Dante Hightower down here in the A. He's the guy who turned the Super Bowl around. But even with that, Bill Belichick, again, see, the difference between Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft and them cats who win all the time and guys like Jerry Jones, they doing business. Appreciate what you've done for us, but that's past tense. You've done it already, and you've been paid for that. Now, we want to go out and get somebody that's going to get paid less than you and try to do the same things with that person. So, Dante Hightower is now a free agent. Just that simple. Julius Peppers, the aforementioned Julius Peppers, talking about Myles Garrett. He wants to come back for his 16th, 17th season. Yeah, man, that dude still want to play football, and somebody can find a spot for a veteran defensive end who played pretty damn well for the Packers last year. Wide receiver Pierre Garcon, who I think I read something yesterday. He hadn't heard nothing from the Redskins as far as coming back. They got some stuff going on out there. There's some reports about the GM being a drunk, or he is a drunk, but being a drunk again, like falling off the wagon type stuff. Because he ain't been at nothing. He ain't been at the combine. Ain't nobody heard from him. He been dismissed from the team or relieved of it, whatever they call it. He ain't been there. It was all weird. Kirk Cousins going to get paid $25 million this year. You know what I mean? And then skip town and go to Frisco next year, take Colin Kaepernick's job. Like, all that's going to happen. Mark my words. Fat Eddie Eddie Lacy's just a name that you know. Like, there's nothing enticing about Eddie Lacy being a free agent. Because, like, at this point, I don't know that anyone's seen Eddie Lacy, but in my mind, he's like the dude on Dodgeball. You know what I mean, the Ben Stiller character, he's like all fit, and then at the end he's like fat as hell on the damn couch, and he's like all meaty and sweaty. That's how I envision Eddie Lacy right now. Just a huge, monstrous mess of a Yoda looking, not Yoda. What's the dude named Jabba the Hutt looking dude? That's exactly how I envision Eddie Lacy. So that's not even a deal right now. He's just a name. Brandon Marshall was cut by the New York Jets. So he'll be out there. He said he was going to retire. Not now, but before. He said if he gets cut by the Jets, he's going to retire. That always seems to be the case until that thing that you say you'll do actually happens. Yeah. DeMarcus Ware wants to play some more football. So he's a free agent. He's got back issues, but he's a guy that, like in the mode of like a Dwight Freeney. Like, people are going after. They saw the value in what the Cardinals were able to do with Dwight Freeney. You just go after these mercenaries. These guys, you'll play like 20 snaps a game. Hopefully they get you a sack. You'll end up with like 9 sacks in the season, and you've got your worth from them. Guys like DeMarcus Ware, like Julius Peppers. That's where their value kind of lies right now. Terrell Pryor, wide receiver Terrell Pryor. Look at that. Is looking to get some huge money this offseason. As soon as he got drafted, man, in the supplemental draft by the Raiders, and it was seen that he couldn't really play quarterback at the NFL level consistently. I was screaming. We were on the radio at the time saying, when are they going to put this dude out wide? And just be big and fast. A lot of people don't realize that dude is a legitimate 4'3", 4'4", and he's Cam Newton size. He's the size of Cam Newton, but like 0.2 of a second faster than him. And at one point, he was with the Seahawks playing backup quarterback, and people started asking then. And now that you on another team, be like your third team, I think he went from the Raiders to the Bengals to the Seahawks, or in some order there. He started with the Raiders. They started asking questions. That dude said, "I can't catch." You can actually Google that. Terrell Pryor, "I can't catch." I post it every now and then just to remind people that was a thing. But yeah. Just like we started the show out talking about Colin Kaepernick, when you've exhausted everything else, sometimes you just got to bow down, man. And look, it turned out for the better for him. He's going to have a real-ass NFL career now. Because against his better wishes, he decided to switch positions, man, not stick to that, I'm not just going to switch positions because I'm a black quarterback. No, you're just a bad quarterback. You know what I mean? That was that. You're just a bad quarterback. All your off-season work with the quarterback gurus and all that kind of stuff, who cares? You're bigger, faster, and stronger than anybody else on the football field. Get your ass out there and be big, man. Run by people and be big. Catch the football. Now you about to get broke off like $15 million a year. Starting point, $15 million a year. Can't beat that. Martellus Bennett, another guy coming off that Super Bowl run. He's going to be a free agent as well. So if your favorite team needs a tight end, a quirky tight end with some crazy ability, that's that guy. And lastly, I mentioned Alshon Jeffrey early, running a 4.7 at the combine. I think Alshon played under the franchise last year, so now they're not going to do that again. They can let him be a free agent this offseason, and we'll see what kind of numbers. If Terrell Pryor is going to, if he's going to attract the numbers that he's going to attract, he's younger than Deshaun Jackson and Pierre Garçon, more athletic than all of them. He's a big guy like Alshon Jeffrey, but Alshon Jeffrey's often hurt, so that's going to hurt his value as well. So tomorrow you'll see guys, names coming up. This guy's going here because they get this period of legalized tampering in the NFL, and then on Thursday the new league year begins on Thursday and end up signing their actual deals. All right, let's take the final break of tonight's show. Here on the One Mic with Big Mike show, Spreaker.com, the Spreaker app, tune in, and of course, OneMicWithBigMike.com is where I'm being heard right now, and where I'm heard every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, starting at 7 o'clock. So tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. Make sure if you're listening via Spreaker, you hit that little heart button as well to indicate that you like the show, and then also share it with all your people. Hit the Twitter share and the Facebook share and the Google share, whatever options they offer you, and go ahead and help your boy out. With that said, I'll be right back.
I only have one question for you.
Do you or someone you know run a business that could benefit from additional exposure? The One Mic with Big Mike show is currently taking on new sponsors and advertisers. One Mic with Big Mike is currently syndicated across 8 different online platforms, and your company's name could be heard and seen across all 8 as well.
Let's get to work.
Please send all inquiries to Mike at onemicwithbigmike.com. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your continued support.
All I need is one mic.
We asked kids what it took to be a dad. This is what they had to say.
A father is always present. I mean, what real father figure can you have if they're not there?
In order to be a good dad, you need to love your son. You need to put gas in your car so you don't break down in the middle of nowhere. And you need to make them breakfast. Yep.
I mean, just to maybe play like a board game with me, or to just stay home and play some video games with me. Just to do like that one little thing is what I really look forward to.
I'm not asking him to be a perfect dad, but he should try. He's just a constant force in my life.
There's no other type of love like a dad's love because it's not comparable to anything else.
Take time to be a dad today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
And now back to One Mic with Big Mike.
And here we go.
I want to welcome Coach for all that. The hard work and the dedication he's done for the football team and a lot of the players here tonight. I wish you guys nothing but best. The ceiling is the roof. Let's make it happen. Let's keep moving forward.
Who man is that, man? Hashtag who man is that? Oh, the greatest to ever do it, man. Michael Jeffrey Jordan trying to pump up the University of North Carolina football team. They're going to be wearing Jordan gear next year. And he want to wish you guys best. Not the best. Not best wishes. I just want to wish you guys best. And remember, the ceiling is the roof. Welcome back to the One Mic with Big Mike show here on Spreaker. Like, I know, man, sometimes I can butcher like common sayings or whatnot. But my guy, come on, man. You knew you was going to be out there. Just like keep it, like just be a normal human being. The ceiling is the roof. Like, them white folks were looking at him like, what the hell is wrong? Is he drunk? That's not even like logistically true. Your ceiling is not your roof. For example, I'm sitting in a room right now that has a ceiling to it, but above that ceiling is my attic. And then above my attic is my roof. my attic doesn't have a ceiling in it. It just goes to the roof. You know what I mean? Yeah, dude. And like, in fairness, like Michael Jordan is not the only one that butchers that, because that's not even being used in the right context. By the way, like this weekend, right? The NFL Combine is going on. So you hear a lot of that talk about people's ceilings and people's floors, not people's roofs, but people's ceilings and their floors. And for those who don't know, because most people won't even ask, they'll just try to like regurgitate it. Your ceiling and your floor is basically talking about your potential. Having a low ceiling means that there's a long way for you to go to be bad, let's say. Having a high, like some people have, just to make it more streamlined, some people have high floors and low ceilings, which means there's not a lot of room for you to get better, but there's not a lot there that's going to tell me you're going to be any worse than what you are. So they do that a lot with like the offensive linemen that come out of schools like Wisconsin, that they're coached a certain way where you're not going to really get a whole lot more out of them. They get pretty much maximum. They get those guys to pretty much maximize their potential in college. So you're getting what you get. You're not going to get not going to get too much better than what they are, but they're not going to be bad either. And that's the kind of application that saying goes into. Well, my man, I guess he could have said, let's make the ceiling the floor, and I guess that could make sense. That the ceiling be your starting point. But he just totally butchered it, like a drunk ass uncle, just saying stuff at Thanksgiving dinner, telling people, lying about people's secrets, and I mean that kind of stuff. Speaking of lying, I want to get to me going to see Get Out here in a second. Speaking of lying, man, like y'all gotta do something, man. Y'all patriots out there, if I got any patriots that listen to this, y'all gotta do something about your man, because it's getting serious. And like, you know how I know it's getting serious? Because white people are running out of different ways to, what's the word I'm looking for? To justify this dude's behavior. Agent Orange, your president. They're running out of different ways to soften it. Well, I don't know if he didn't remember correctly or if he misspoke. Now, these white folks just coming out and being like, you know what? Nah, homie might be crazy. Like, homie might be off a little bit. He may not have the capacity to know the difference between fact and fiction. That's a problem, cuz when you got the nuclear codes with you at all times, man. You know what I'm saying? You ever heard that story about the lady or a guy? Anyway, went to bed on some Ambien or whatever, and woke up, grabbed what he or she thought was an asthma inhaler. Yeah, it was a gun, and blew his or her head straight off. Like, that's like what Donald Trump is. He's like running the country on Ambien, dude. Like waking up at like 4:30 in the morning, ass naked at a McDonald's drive-through, walking through it with some bunny house slippers on. Like, that type of weirdness is going on. This dude over the weekend, if you guys have been living under a rock, accused President Barack Hussein Obama, Mr. 101, the Prez, in my book, of hacking, or not hack, what is it? Wiretapping him at the Trump Towers. Like, every rational person was like, what is he talking about? Even his people was like, nah, we don't know. I don't know where he got that from. Looking at some racist ass news on TV. Looking at like KKK TV or something. They done told him that Barack Obama was listening on his phone calls in Trump Towers. And he went live with that immediately. This dude got all the intelligence agencies possible to him. There's no reason for him to tweet that. Just be like, hey, FBI cuz, hey, check this out for me, man. They talking about this is happening. Let me know what's popping. Nope, not him. 6:30 in the morning, taking a dump probably. I know what I'm going to do. The thing that's always worked in America. I'll blame the black guy. They've been trying that for like the last month too, by the way. You feel me? Like, well, it's not our fault. Look at this mess Obama left us. Really? That's what's hot in the streets? Yeah, man. Your man is like on some like seriously, like if he wasn't such a racist, sexist nut job, I would tell people to feel sorry for him. You know what I'm saying? Because he's sick, man. Like something's up, and more and more people are starting like to mumble stuff about like Alzheimer's and what's the other one? Dementia and all that kind of stuff. Like people starting to really mumble that stuff, man. Like Kyle Turley said it out loud. He called this dude the poster boy. He called him the poster boy for Alzheimer's. I don't know, dude. When dudes is talking about everybody else saw 500,000 people, he saw 2 million people. It's a big difference. You know what I'm saying? That's like when people tell me, man, I'll be there in about like, you know, the hour or two. That's a big difference, cuz. Like if it's 2 hours, I can go do something else, my G. Like, give me a time. Like, this is that dude. He don't see nothing clearly at all, man. He got like the Korean cat over there shooting off nukes at people. Meanwhile, we gotta talk about this cat accusing the Prez, the real Prez, of a felony, unlawful monitoring or whatever, surveilling of someone or whatever it's called. Yeah, man. The day that's a thing, man. I told my old lady last night, she thought I was laughing. Cause I'm not even this guy. Like when that stuff, like when these kids get shot by the police and stuff and people go to riot and burn the stuff down. Like, I'm not the dude that says they being foolish. I'm just like, that ain't really my lane. You know what I mean? That ain't my thing. But I will say this, like cause one dude was like, yeah, he's bringing up charges that call for warrants to be issued. I was like, man, if they issue a warrant for the homie, we got to ride. Like everybody. I ain't just talking about black folks. I'm talking about anybody who got any sense of anything, just humanity. You gotta ride, man. You gotta go to Washington, burn the whole joint down, man. Like everything, man. Like Mississippi burning, you gotta go and start from fresh. Get some white boys in here to build the next White House, cuz no black people allowed to build a White House or rebuild it after this dude tried to put charges on Barack. Crazy ass dude. So anyway, Friday. I didn't do a show Friday. You know, I wanted to go hang out with my old lady and not you jerks. So we went and saw Get Out. The movie, the guy from Key and Peele. That's what made me want to see it, to be honest with you. Because I watched Vice News and they interviewed him on Vice News about the movie, and he said it was a horror film the way black people would want to make a horror film on some, like, you know, like you go to the movie theater and folks is like, girl, don't run in there. She's so stupid. Don't go there. And all that kind of stuff. We got to talk to it. I will say this, because I went to the black theater on purpose. Because it's like this different, there's like a real weird thing that goes on where I live at. Like I can go either direction and get to a movie theater in about the same amount of time. And one is mostly white people go there, and then the other one, all Negroes. I ain't gonna say some, like mostly all Negroes. But the one with the Negroes got the better seats. Like the seats that go back, and they got the armrest that goes up, so you're gonna want to get close to your partner. If you got, you know, a partner, your woman, or whatever you got, you know, all that's possible. The downside is, of course, it's a horror film and it's Negroes. All right. So part of me said, I want to go see it here, and I want to go see it early so it's not packed. And it wasn't super packed, but it was weird in the way that going to a Negro movie theater is weird. Like babies is in there. People got like, you know, and for whatever reason, no babies was crying. So probably got like a dropper full of Hennessy before they got there. So the baby would be knocked out for the whole time type stuff. It's just weirdness, right? People in there asking for change from one. You guys got $5? Got a change for $5? I looked at my old lady. She started putting her hand in her pocketbook. I said, hold on. No, we ain't got it. It's a big ass cash register out in the lobby that you pass by. Go there and get it. Yeah, trying to have me pulling out my money around here. Why? You can catch me in the parking lot? I don't think so. Anyway, so I went. The experience was cool though. And that is shout out to the movie for that. You know what I'm saying? Because he was right. In all the instances in this movie, if you hadn't seen it, screw you. I don't forget all that spoiler alert crap. If you hadn't seen the movie, he's right. It's not one of those situations where you like are talking to the movie like, don't do that, boy. You better not do that. He does the things that Negroes would do. You know, in those situations, he's thinking on his feet. At the end of the movie, yeah, the white people die. And the black folks, the two black dudes ride off like damn right. So, yeah, it worked for me. But the part I regret, I would have liked to see that movie, and I may even go see it again by myself just because I'm this guy around white people to see, like, what parts of this movie do they enjoy the most? And are they disturbed in any way by how it ended? I mean, like, that's the whole time I'm thinking that, like, God, where are the white people here? Because I like watching slave movies, but I like watching it around white people. I like going to where white people see it, you know, just to see, like, what part of the movie you going to laugh at. Do you know when to laugh? Are you uncomfortable? Which white lady's going to, like, get overly emotional and cry? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't believe you. Give me some of them racist tears so I can drown my fears in them. Get a shot of them racist tears, bartender. Hell out of here, man. Speaking of racist tears and slavery, on Wednesday, one of my favorite shows, the homie that did, I think the dude that did Lee Daniels, I think the dude that did 12 Years a Slave did this. Underground. John Legend's on it as well. John Legend should be the voice of every black oppression movie. That dude is so damn soulful. Like, his voice just seems like it goes with every oppressive movie in relation to black people. You know what I mean? So anyway, Underground comes back on WGN on Wednesday at 10 o'clock. So as soon as I'm done the show, I'm headed towards that. I got that joint on DVR. Anyway, but it's, you know, it's one of those things that I enjoy watching. I know people get mad and upset or whatever. Why? I don't know. It's already happened. You know what I mean? And these are depictions of what people think happened. Some of them more accurate than others, but for the most part, you still gotta, entertain. You still have to entertain, so it's not something that you can consider to be that factually correct. In the first segment of the show, though, I was telling you guys, go check out PBS. Dr. Henry Gates, he got a 3-part special, like 6 hours in total. The history of Africa. The stuff that, Black History Month is over. I'm glad he's doing it in March, too. That makes it so awesome because it'd have been too cliche to do it in February, doing it in March after Black History Month is over with. But then you also, man, you find out some things. And I'm a dude that I like to, as I get older, I want to know more. I want to know more about things that were in more of a factual way, not rumor or someone telling me what they think happened. And this is a good example of that, man. He talks about the different factions within Africa, how these guys got linked up with the Portuguese when people start talking about black people selling each other into slavery, why that was a thing and how that came to be as well, man. It's hella interesting. I've only seen one part of it because I spent part of my weekend that I wasn't watching the combine, like binge watching, like Ray Donovan and Shameless. Like man, football season over with, man. And then they ain't giving me enough basketball, and I don't have the NBA package. I decided not to spring for that because Comcast is already bleeding the N-word dry as it is. You know what I mean? Every month for just, for a bunch of stuff I don't even use. And they link it with other stuff, like the government. You know what I mean? They put, like, the stuff that you want in a bill that you don't want. So that even if you get what you want, you end up passing something, about, like, punching babies in the stomach before school or something ridiculous, Just, I don't know. Anyway, let's see what else I got here before I get up out of here for the day. I appreciate y'all joining me too here on a Monday. Don't forget Wednesday is Women Crush Wednesday. I'm not sure who my guest is going to be. I'm assuming my guest on Wednesday is going to be Alex Cavtall, but don't hold me to that. I haven't spoken to him yet. After he gets all his combine stuff and his new mock drafts up and ready to go, we'll get him back on the show as well. This Grayson Allen thing is getting real, man. And like the word that we attach to certain things like this now, not even like this, but on things that maybe it doesn't really go on, I think it fits here. That term white privilege, like Grayson Allen is getting all of it, cuz. And you know what else I thought about too? That dude, he must be able to fight. Like real good. He must have them hands because I don't understand how all this is happening. Like there must be like some like YouTube video of him in a fight club, or he might be like this like MMA jiu-jitsu type cat or something that nobody don't want to mess with because this dude is a habitual line stepper. Like he tripping dudes. He done shoved a coach. He done bowled this boy in the mouth. The other day in that same game that Jordan said that your ceiling is your roof. Car ain't got no roof. He bowled this boy in the mouth and then acted like he got fouled too. He threw his head back like he got fouled. My man's like holding his jaw. I'm like, how the hell has no one? Like, okay, you might get suspended for a day, for a game, but you gotta just take that L, B. You gotta get that dude that 2-piece. And the only thing I can come up with is that dude can fight. He must be one of the white boys that maybe he can only fight kind of good, but he's one of the white boys that won't ever give up until somebody's dead, which is even worse. You know what I mean? Like, you got to kill that dude for the fight to be over. One of those two things got to be true, man, because this dude is getting away with way too many things, man. Like, way too many, like, flagrant, like, disrespectful things to people. And folks are just like, oh, well, Duke needs him, Duke this and blah, blah, blah. Whatever. He's a kid. Yeah, whatever. Marcus Smart shoved one fat dude that he said called him the N-word, which, got refuted by audio-visual evidence. But whatever. He said he heard the N-word. Yeah, cool, whatever. He shoved this dude, and they act like this dude was a mass, like, serial killer. You know what I'm saying? Grayson Allen's out here, like rough shopping people. It's been 1 year, and we talking about at least, like, what, 4 incidents? He got suspended indefinitely, which ended up being 1 game. Because his coach got a broke back. Yeah. Like, this is the time. Now, I tell you guys all the time, like, I don't need all that enforcer craziness in my basketball. As long as dudes can do what Steph can do and James Harden can do and LeBron, as long as dudes can do that, I don't need to get entertained by somebody getting punched in the mouth or getting taken out the air and body slammed. None of that. But in this case, I make the exception, man. Like, somebody Like some grown man, you gonna throw your bowl up in somebody's mouth and then be put to sleep out there. It's gonna be the wrong person, my G. But y'all don't hear me though. Y'all don't hear me though. This dude is out here getting yeah, man. He's out here in his own world, and like, shout out to the kid, man. I guess it is what it is, cause like he ain't got them hands yet, and at the end of the day, there was only a certain amount of dudes that got away with stuff like that where I grew up at, and those are the dudes that you knew was gonna fight your ass, and it's gonna be rough. It's gonna be rough to try to come back and get that W. Finally, in the world of the NBA, real quick, and we're gonna get up out of here for the day. I got some stuff. I made some chili today, man. Straight up, in the crock pot. If you ain't got no crock pot, man, you losing in life. Like, that's one of the best inventions ever, where you can just throw some stuff in there, like at about noon, and then your dinner's ready at like 6, slow cooked, seasoned properly, infused with flavor. Yeah, you ain't got no slow cooking, man. You losing. Madison Square Garden yesterday. I'm watching the Hawks take on the Golden State Warriors. They're on this massive road trip, man. They ain't gonna see the Oracle for a minute. I think till like next week sometime after they play San Antonio on Saturday. But I think the Hawks are beating the Golden State Warriors down here in Phillips Arena right now. But they played in Madison Square Garden yesterday. Played the Knicks, and apparently the people at Madison Square Garden just felt like, you know what we're gonna do? Turn off everything. Like, no announcing. It was no like music, no video of nothing. Like, we're gonna take it old school. And I'm like, that's a bad idea. And I wonder if they ran that by the league first. Have y'all ever like heard the stuff that goes on the basketball court? Like the amount of N-words that get thrown around, and MFers and bullish and all that kind of stuff. Like, you can't really, you had to put that on like an 8-second delay. Probably more than that, like 24 seconds. So you get a couple of 8s in there. That's what they did to us at the radio station. It was like 20-something seconds, so that every time you hit the button, it'll just go down another 7 seconds or whatever, 8 seconds or what. Yeah, man, because that's a bad. You got Draymond out there, you know what I mean? Like, him by himself. You gonna turn everything off, all the things that would mask the terrible foul language that dude's gonna have to explain to his mama later on. Yeah, shout out to Madison Square Garden. That's a terrible, terrible, terrible idea. I think that's it. I mentioned Get Out. I mentioned Underground. Yeah, let's hit the music and get the hell up out of here, man, and come back and do this thing again on Wednesday, man. I appreciate everybody for joining me here on a Monday, coming off the weekend. Crazy down here in the A. Then it got cold again real quick. I took my dumb ass out there spraying for weed, because the weeds started coming up. The weeds thought it was warm. Springtime. Tricked all of us, man. It's crazy ass weather. Meanwhile, your president, Agent Orange. Oh, speaking of the Prez, the real Prez. Him and the first lady, man, signed a $60 million book deal. Yeah. Get money. $60 million to write books, both of them. I think $30 million a piece. Yeah, man. Shout out to them, man. Shout out to the first family, man. Straight up. We'll come back on Wednesday, Woman Crush Wednesday, aka Hump Day. Do it all over again. I shoot for average, man. So if this show was average, I've done my job. Never good, never great. Just C's get degrees, my man. Don't forget the show is available on demand for you to share, for you to consume, for you to download on Spreaker.com, Spreaker.com. Make sure you're following One Mic with Big Mike on Spreaker. Download the Spreaker app. Tune in, OneMicWithBigMike.com, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Google Play Music, and YouTube. Make sure you like the Facebook page, One Mic with Big Mike. Got a couple of likes during the show. Appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate you, Reggie, man, for doing that. I see you did the sharing situation, so, man, I appreciate you for looking out on that. My man Reggie helping out with the show. I'll introduce you guys to Marcus. I got to get in contact with Marcus and square some things away with him, but got Marcus as well. Going to be helping produce the show as well. Yeah, that's it, man. You guys be safe. Enjoy the rest of your evening. And I'll holler at y'all on Hump Day.